number sentences. They give us some new vocabulary that I want you to look at and not worry. We're going to be working a lot with this over the next couple of years, but it's time to start using this vocabulary. It says right here, you can learn a general way to solve problems by writing a number sentence. Use a box, which is what you guys are used to, or a letter to stand for the unknown number. So this is another number, another vocabulary, unknown number or variable. If we don't know what it is, we're just going to assign it a letter. And usually it's a letter for whatever it starts with, or often it's the letter X. A number sentence with a letter or a variable is called an open number sentence. Um, that's not as important vocabulary as a variable is an unknown number. We don't know what it is, and usually we assign it a letter. So let's see how they're going to do that in this next batch. Band members must sell 950 tickets. Remember, when we read story problems, we underline what we're reading. Their goal is band members must sell 950 tickets to reach their goal. If 345 tickets have been sold, how many more tickets must be sold to reach their goal? So they're going to choose a letter to stand for the unknown variable. And they say let n, we're going to tell you what n is, equals the number of tickets left to sell. And they write the simple number sentence. N equals 950 minus 345. And yeah, this is real simple. You guys could have wrote 950 minus 345 equals a box. But at this point, we're just trying to make it easy so you feel comfortable writing these number sentences. Sometimes we have to do what they say here because it's easier if we use a smaller number because it makes sense in our head to find the problem. And that's how they made the connection. Paul drives a truck. So we're going to solve this problem. Paul drives a truck. He uses 1 gallon, that's a number, of gas every 6 miles. If Paul has 13 gallons of gas in the tank and drives until he runs out of gas, how far, that's my question, will he drive? And n is how far, and we're measuring that in miles. So n is the number of miles. Okay, so we know he can drive 6 miles on 13 gallons of gas. So my number sentence is going to be a multiplication problem of 6 times 13 equals n. And for this problem, they're just assigning us that. So I know that 6 times 3 is 8. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 1 from the 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is really 18. Is 7. So he can drive 78 miles. And we can check that using a calculator. So that's how we're going to do numbers 1 through 4. The next page gets a little bit more tricky in that we're going to use 2 steps and use parentheses. Parentheses, remember, tell us to do the problem first. Daniel got 5 boxes of football cards. Underline it. Each box, each tells me that that's going to be a multiplication problem somewhere in there, has 50 packs. And each pack, that tells me another multiplication, has 17 cards. Wow, that's a lot. Then, so that tells me I'm going to do some type of adding, or if this is the second part of my story problem, he got a box that had 275 cards in it, and that's the total. How many cards does he have? So again, n is going to equal cards. So we got to figure out in the 5 boxes, what does he have first? So they said 5 times 50 times 17. Those are going to be my 5 boxes, and then I'm adding the 275 to get my n. So let's try this. We're going to write an equation. If I won the lottery, woohoo, and I'm paid $10,000 a month, that's each month, for a total of 900,000, how many months and years will I be paid? So first I'm going to go and figure out 10,000. And I'm going to divide, sorry, I should have wrote this a little bit different. I'm going to divide, eraser. I'm going to divide 900 by 10,000, 900,000 by 10,000 to figure out how many months. So I'm going to go 900,000 divided by 10,000. And what's that going to do is that's going to give me equals my months. So I'm going to do this first. And then I'm going to divide all of that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And today, all we're doing is writing the equation. So let's try another one. A man walked from Seattle to Pittsburgh and back. It is this far from Seattle to Pittsburgh. That's one way. So he walked there and back. So I'm going to need to multiply that number by 2. 10,777,200 feet times 2. And now they're telling me there are this many feet in a mile. How many miles did he walk? So m equals the number of miles. So I'm going to divide all of that by 5,280, and that's going to equal the number of miles. So please try this out for 5 and 6, and we'll be working on this in class.